I knew something was wrong the moment she walked in. Too quietly, too slowly, like someone rehearsing how to break a bone without making a sound. She didn't take off her shoes. She didn't put her phone away. She just stood there, fingers gripping the screen as if it were the last piece of certainty she had left. "I need to tell you something," she whispered. Those 5 words pulled the air out of the room. There was no panic in her voice, just a shaky, forced calm, like she'd convinced herself she was doing the right thing. My hands froze above the sink. Warm water ran over my knuckles, and for a moment I felt like I was watching myself from somewhere else, somewhere colder. She finally met my eyes. "The baby might not be yours." Time didn't stop. It just fractured, quietly, brutally, like a crack running across glass. She swallowed. "It might be my yoga instructor's. But legally, since we're married, you still have to pay." I watched her lips move, watched her breath tremble, but all I heard was the echo of something collapsing inside me, a slow, controlled implosion. I turned off the faucet, and somewhere, beneath the shock, beneath the betrayal, something inside me steadied. "I know the law," I said. She mistook my calm for acceptance. But calm, for me, has never been a sign of peace. It's a sign of preparation. And I had already been preparing for weeks. The signs had been there long before her confession. Small things at first, harmless if you weren't paying attention. She started coming home late from prenatal yoga. She changed her perfume, something lighter, something you'd only detect if he'd been close. She guarded her phone like it held a detonator. She used to fall asleep easily. Then suddenly, she started sleeping on her side of the bed, clinging to the edge like guilt might spill if she got too close. I tried to dismiss it. People change during pregnancy, I told myself. Hormones, stress, fear. But my gut knew better. It always does. One night, her phone lit up with a message she didn't expect to receive while she was in the shower. A short preview. Did he ask anything? My chest tightened. The world sharpened. But I didn't touch her phone, didn't unlock it, didn't confront her. Not because I trusted her, but because confrontation ends the game too early. I needed to understand the full story, the scope of it, the depth of the betrayal. I needed to know whether it was emotional, physical, or both, whether it was an accident or a choice. People slip once. They don't build routines around accidents. And she had built an entire second life, one she believed I was too blind or too gentle to see. But blindness has never been my weakness. Patience has always been my weapon. And so I waited, quietly, coldly, taking notes in shadows she didn't even notice. The first thing I did was get the timeline, dates, classes, appointments. People think secrets are maintained through lies. They're not. They're maintained through patterns, and patterns never stay hidden for long. I requested a paternity test through a private clinic, anonymous, discreet, processed faster than she'd ever suspect. I saved every receipt, every document, every timestamp. While she slept, I sat in the hallway, listening to the faint, guilty rhythm of her breathing. Each exhale sounded like a confession she wasn't brave enough to speak. During the day, I played the part perfectly. Supportive husband, quiet listener, patient partner. She mistook my silence for devotion. But silence is just a container. You choose what to fill it with. She filled hers with lies. I filled mine with evidence. Her yoga instructor wasn't subtle. No guilty man ever is. He left digital footprints everywhere. Likes, messages, schedule overlaps. A man who thinks he's stolen something sacred always steps too proudly. The clinic emailed me the results sooner than I expected. I didn't open it immediately. Instead, I stared at the unopened message for hours. Not because I feared the truth, but because I wanted to remember the exact moment before everything changed. The moment I still had a choice between hope and reality. I opened it at 3:17 a.m. And hope died. Quietly. Almost politely. The next evening she approached me in the kitchen again, same doorway, same hesitation. Guilt softens people in predictable ways. "I need to talk to you," she said. I nodded and handed her a sheet of paper. The paternity results. Her face drained. Not instantly, slowly, like color being washed from a painting. You tested?" "Yes." "And you didn't tell me?" "I didn't want to interrupt your yoga schedule." She flinched, a small, fragile motion. Her breath turned shallow. This doesn't mean... It means exactly what it says." Her hands shook as she held the paper. Tears gathered, not grief, not remorse, fear. There is a moment when a liar realizes the person they deceived didn't just know, they understood. That moment rearranges their entire world. I watched the rearrangement happen in her eyes. She opened her mouth to beg, to explain, to bargain. But I didn't give her the space. I simply placed 2 envelopes on the counter. Divorce papers, eviction notice, both dated, both ready. Her voice cracked. "You knew? All this time?" "Yes." "And you didn't say anything?" "No." "Why?" "Because truth tastes better when the one who lied has to swallow it." The knock on the door came exactly when I scheduled it. 2 firm taps, authority wrapped in politeness. She turned toward the sound, eyes wide. I don't understand." "You don't have to," I said, "but you do have to leave." When the sheriff stepped into view, her breath collapsed. She looked tiny, fragile, ungrounded. "Ma'am," he said, "you're being legally served. You'll need to gather your essentials." She shook her head, trembling. "Please, he's my husband. We can fix this. We can talk." I held up a hand. "There's nothing left to fix." "But I'm pregnant." "You're pregnant," I corrected, "with another man's child."